This is Fabian Christensen, and this is my first pen review, serious large pen review for Fountain Pen Network. This is my first expensive fountain pen. I got it from Penguin. It's a Pelikan 140, which is a pretty standard type of a pen, a little vintage 1950s pen. It's a kind of plastic, and it simulates an inlay. And it does a very good job of it. It's an exceptionally attractive little sort of three-tone pen, and it's a piston filler, and it has a marvelously large capacity for a small pen. It's about 5.5 inches long with a cap on it. This is the original nib that came with it. I went ahead and I bought a binderized or binderized nib. It's a double broad. And I'm glad I put the double broad on it because the ink capacity of the 140 is so large that you can write for a long time with a double broad nib, which does suck up the ink. This was what originally came with it. It's a fine nib, and as you can see, it's a good deal shorter than the double broad Pelikan nib. But I have to say that for a small pen, that double broad nib still looks real good on it. As a matter of fact, I think it looks better than the original smaller nib did. This pen is very lightweight if you're a small person with small hands like I am. It's a perfect sort of a pen to get because it's not going to tire you out when you try to write with it. And besides its big capacity for ink, it's a great workhorse pen. It's the kind of a thing that you do want to write with. With this double broad nib, it's quite smooth, and you can see the ink beading up and shining before it finally dries. This is American Eel, Noodler's American Eel, which makes it even smoother and nicer. No squeaking, no tugging, no pulling. You can go like this, and it's not going to rip up the paper thanks to Richard Binder and his very fine work, which I am quite a fan of. So I would say that if you have an interest in getting a nice little vintage pen that you can actually use, you won't mind taking around with you, it's not too heavy, you can pull it out, it doesn't leak, it's got a nice big capacity. There is nothing that's a drawback to this 140 at all. It's a real sweetie. And so if you're thinking about getting a nice pen and you'd like to get a Pelikan, the 140 is a really good choice.